Hi guys, it's Night Fear, and today I'm on to do my second part of my Jurassic Park Athon wrap-up. I will link part 1 down below, which was the prompts to the dinosaurs in the books I read. This is all of the people. So we'll go ahead and start, and the first one is Ian Malcolm, to read a book you think is 5 stars. I finished this one at almost 6 o'clock this morning because I was reading it, and then I was reading other books, and then I really got into it, and I had to finish it because it was so good. And that is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. This is about a girl who... at the very beginning of the book, she and her father are taken to this prison, and that was like the prologue part, and then we're following her 10 years later, and she's become the prison healer. There's a lot of interesting things. We get to see a lot of things about the prison, the guards, and there's a lot of stuff going on. At the end, there are 2 big reveals, and one I kind of saw, and the other one I was like, oh wow. So yeah, and the second book in the series comes out in October, and I cannot wait, and I gave this book 5 stars. Just, oh my goodness. And now I'm interested in seeing, I know she's written a couple other series, so now I might have to go check those out. Not that I need any more series in my life, but, you know, what the heck. So the next one is Ellie Statler, read a book based on friendship. Now, some of these I did have other books for the prompts, but I was kind of in a mood read, and I've been reading a lot of books by audiobook. And so, yeah. So some of these have changed from the TBR, but this was one of those. But for this one, I've decided to read Horde by Anne Aguirre. This is the 3rd book it's called the Razorland trilogy. These are books about this world where an apocalyptic event has happened, and they're zombie-like creatures, but they're not zombies, they're actually mutants. And this is, of course, the continuation, and I gave this book 5 stars. I really liked how this all wrapped up. There is another book, a 4th book, I think that was added later, but it's following a side character from these, and I actually own that book, so hopefully I'll be getting to this soon. Now, I listened to the first book and this book on audiobook. The second book I couldn't get the audiobook, so I read. The audiobooks for these are okay. I mean, the narrator might get a little annoying to you, but after I listened to the first one, it was okay. But yeah, I definitely would recommend these if you like the apocalyptic, more along the zombie type books. But yeah, definitely very good. I might actually have to end up buying those. Did I tell you I gave it 5 stars? Then the next one is Alan Grant, read a dark book. Now for this one, I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. Now this one is about a girl that she was young, and they think she killed a baby, but she never says anything about it, like one way or the other, really, when they talk to her. So we're finding out through the book, because now she's actually in a group home for people that or kids that used to be in jail. And so I can't say a lot about this, except for the ending was, wow, I was shocked by the ending. I gave this 4 stars. It was a little slow in places. I did listen to the audiobook, So maybe that made a difference too to my enjoyment of this. But yeah, this is definitely dark. It definitely fits. I wasn't sure at first, but that ending, it definitely, yeah, dark. But yeah, I don't know. You might try this one. There's a lot of warnings because of, different things that this has. So you might want to look up that if you want, or it sounds interesting to you. But yeah, 4 stars. The next one is Lex Murphy, Read a Book with a Yellow Cover. This was one of the ones that I changed. I just wasn't in the mood for Jasmine Throne. And then I thought I was going to read another book, and then this one came up at got this from my library, on I got it, no, it was an audiobook. It just showed up in my, thing. I think I must have requested it. But it ended up getting it, and so I read Burning Bright by Melissa McShane, and as you can see, her dress is yellow, which is most of the cover. This was a pretty good book. It was really light, not light, like this is definitely an adult book, but it's not like smutty, and it's definitely a romancy kind of a book. But this is about this world where they have what they call extraordinaries, and extraordinaries have different powers. And we're following a woman who happens to be what they call a scorcher, which means she can set things on fire. And she is an extraordinary because she can do multiple things, and she's very powerful. She can also put out the fires. And so her father ends up giving her basically 2 choices. Either you marry the man I want you to marry, or get out. And she decides to find a third choice, which is joining the Navy. And so it's kind of historical fiction because she's in England, and they're fighting pirates, and they're fighting Napoleon. So it's kind of that era, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Like I said, it was really light, and it was really, it was a kind of a fantastical romance. Maybe it was a fantasy romance. I don't know. Sometimes genres are a hard thing because I don't know where exactly I would put this. But I definitely enjoyed it. I did listen to this. Like I said, it was an audiobook, and the audiobook was really good. There are 2 others in this series, but it's not following the same character. We're following 2 other women with different powers. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna read both of those, because I'm really kind of interested in what their stories are. So, but yeah, if you're looking for kind of a, not really fluffy, I would say, because it kind of does get, because of course there's battles and stuff, and fire, and it talks a little bit about, what goes on during battles. So I don't know if I'd say fluffy is the right word, but there's not really any like sexy time scenes or any of that, which is nice. I like romances without that. So if you like romances that are, interesting and not so steamy, you might check this one out. I hope that made sense. Not really awake, but I need to get this done so that I can get these books back to the library so we can figure out what we're reading for next month. Okay, so the next one is Tim Murphy, to read a fantasy book. This is another one that I switched because I got these books from the library, or no, maybe I didn't. I can't remember. Maybe this is one of the ones that I had at the first one. Anyway, I ended up reading The Gollums Eye by Jonathan Stroud. This is book 2 in the Bartimaeus trilogy. Oh, this was so good. I listened to these in audiobook. Now I did only give this one 4 stars because I did think it dragged a little bit here and there. Not too bad though. I guess this would be more of a 4.5 stars. But you can't do that on Goodreads. So, but these are thick books, but I listen in all of these. I listen to the audiobook. I would highly recommend. The narrator does an amazing job. with just the way he does the voices. And with Bartimaeus, oh my goodness, he's so snarky in this one. Oh, I know why I gave this one 4 stars. I hated the main character in this one. That's why. The the guy, Nathaniel. I didn't like him. And well, I mean, these are broken up. This isn't one point of view story. We get a few point of views, but I couldn't stand him in this one. I was annoyed with him in the first one, but this one, I don't know. He got to like the annoying with the capital A. It just, but the story was so good, and all the other characters, and Bartimaeus is just, like I said, he's amazing. But this is about a young, very young magician who can, or he summons this. It's not a demon. They call them demons in the book off and on, but he's actually a jinn, which is a type of demon. And he gets kind of, yeah, he's only 14 in this one. And the first book is called Amulet of Samarkand. But yeah, we're a year or two after the other one. No, a year, I think, after the other one. And they get on to some stuff, and yeah, I would recommend, though, definitely recommend the audiobook. But like I said, 4 stars. And then I've got the first book that I read this month. And that's The Little Beach Street Bakery by Jenny Colgan. I also listened to this one on the audiobook. Didn't really enjoy the audiobook as much as some of the other ones, but it was okay. I gave this one 4 stars. This one definitely took me on a ride as far as emotions go. This is about a woman that her and her boyfriend run a business, and the business goes under, and so they split up, but don't split up. But she moves to this little island, and she ends up working at this bakery, and stuff happens. It's a lot about the people on the island, the people she meets, and I mean, it's just about her life, and it was really good. And I think this author has another one that's about a bookstore, if I'm not mistaken. But I definitely would read more from this author. Like I said, 4 stars. And if you like that, like slice of life kind of book, then I definitely would recommend this one. And like I said, Bo, I would keep tissues kind of at the ready, because there are some parts in here that are just heartbreaking, and just, it was like, it happened, and I was like, I mean, one of the things happened, and I was like, no, and I actually said it out loud. It was like, oh, okay, which I usually don't do in books. So there's that one. Then we have Dr. Henry. Oh yeah, this one was John Hammond read a book, where main character is a business owner or helps run a business, and she does. Okay. Then we have Dr. Henry read a diverse book, and for that one I picked Cinderella is Dead, alrighty, by Kaylin Barron. This is about the Cinderella story happened hundreds of years ago, and it's written down, and the girls have to basically, or this king makes it so the girls have to follow Cinderella, and when they're old enough, I think it's 16, they have to go to this ball, and that's basically how the husbands are found. And they have 3 chances, and if they don't find a husband, then they're sent to like the workhouse or whatever. This one was okay. I gave it 3 stars. I know some people really love this book. I didn't. I just didn't. I don't know. I thought it was really slow. Most of the book, I thought it was kind of predictable. I didn't like her. I mean, it's not that I didn't like her. I just didn't connect. That's good. I didn't connect with the main character. So I just didn't care. I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm glad I read it, and I'm glad it's out there, and I'm glad other people really enjoyed it. I just didn't. I mean, if you really are into Cinderella, this retellings, then you might enjoy this. Like I said, I unfortunately just didn't. And so that was my only 3-star read for this part of the readathon, which is sad. Then we have Dennis read a book over 400 pages. And I know this one, this one was switched. But for this one, I read Ptolemys Gate by Jonathan Stroud, which is the 3rd book in the Bartimaeus trilogy. And it continues... how old is he in this one? Oh, 3 years. So he's 17 in this one. And... I liked this one a lot better. Nathaniel, I gave this one 5 stars. The ending is very sad, but it wraps it up nicely. There is another book in this series, but it's almost like a prequel where we're telling about Bartimaeus's story. I do have that one, but I haven't read it yet. But this is the last book in the trilogy. And I would highly recommend, once again, listen to this one on audiobook. Would highly recommend. The series definitely is 5 stars. This book is definitely 5 stars. And even though they're chunky, but when you listen to the audiobook, it goes really fast, it seems. At least to me it did. So yeah, that's that one. And then for Ray Arnold, read an action-filled book. For this one, I picked Honor Lost by Rachel Kane and Anna Guire. And yes, Anna Guire is the same one that wrote this series. This one was this is the 3rd book in this series, and I just love it. I hate that it's gone. I gave this 5 stars. Matter of fact, I think I gave all these books 5 stars. I don't know. I can't remember, but definitely the series, definitely another one that's 5 stars. This is about a world where aliens have come, and the aliens are these big, like, whale-like ships, and people can actually basically ride in them, and explore the universe. And so we are following this character she's a thief. And this one follows right after the 2nd book in the series. I can't really say much else because it'll spoil the other books. But if you're like a sci-fi type reader, I definitely would recommend these, especially if you like sentient ships. The bond that these characters form with their ship and each other is amazing. This does have queer rep in it. It's a female romance. So yeah, if you like all those, I would definitely recommend this series. Like I said, 5 stars. Definitely great. Okay, so then I read another retelling, and this is for Robert Muldoon, Read a Book with a Red Cover. This one I switched also, because I was in the mood to read this. Like I said, I was very mood-ready to this time. But this is A Kiss in Time by Alex Flynn. This is one I just recently purchased. I thought this was connected to Beastly. It's not. It's a totally different story. This is about a girl whose family have warned her, don't touch the spindle, so it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. She ends up, of course, pricking her finger. 300 years later, she is rescued by this teenage boy in our time. And so she kind of has to deal with that, and her family deals with that, and things kind of happen from there. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really cutesy kind of a retelling, and I enjoyed it. I really like this author, Alex Flynn, because I loved Beastly, and so I'm definitely gonna read more by them. And I think this is a woman. I thought it was a man, but I think it's a woman. I could be wrong. It doesn't say. Oh, no, she. Okay, yes, it is a woman. Alex Flynn. She's a woman. Okay. And I'm definitely going to read some of the other ones that she has. I know some of the other ones are connected to Beastly, so yeah, so we'll do that. All right, so a very, very amazing readathon. I really had a lot of fun, even though, like I said, some of these books I switched out because very mood ready this month. So hopefully the ones that except for Jazz and Thorn, I'm not in the mood for that one, so that one you won't see probably anytime soon. But hopefully a couple of the other ones that were on this TBR, I'll read soon so you can see what I thought in case you were looking forward to seeing what I thought. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, if you agree or disagree with my opinion. Please remember to always, always be kind to one another, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!